I've said it many a time on this show. I think Ricciardo's going to be in that seat for 2024.
If Daniel Ricciardo, especially if that AlphaTauri is semi-decent, if Daniel Ricciardo peppers Yuki Tsunoda and we see the Daniel Ricciardo we just saw today consistently next season, Daniel Ricciardo will be in that Red Bull in 2025.
Because I don't think Lando Norris will be in that Red Bull. Because I think McLaren are doing enough to prove that he's at the right team. And as much as it wasn't a great day yesterday in qualifying for him, like you say, driver of the day, all of our driver of the day, the official driver of the day, Lando Norris, from the back to P5 in the end.
Oh, fantastic.
From the back to P8 to the back.
Yeah. True.
Pause twice, actually. Pause, because that's crazy.
From the back is
From
wild.
the back. And then the back again. Yeah, to fifth.
A lot of adversity when you think.
Yeah.
From what, P17 to P8, then all of a sudden he boxes before an obvious red flag, puts in P10 on the restart.
Terrible start.
Then he has a terrible restart, goes to like P15, and then drives all the way to P5.
Yeah. Even if he'd started 15th and finished 5th, from the start of the race to the end, that would have been like.
I think potentially we're looking at
even without the first half as well. That's insane.
Without the stinker restart,
yeah,
and without the losing 2 positions on the pit stop that wasn't needed, we're looking at maybe a podium here.
Oh, could you
Possible podium.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because he'd have
him and Lewis were the next quickest cars behind Matt.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I think he catches the Ferraris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he probably clears George like 20 laps earlier because he would have started the restart like 8th.
And 2 unreal overtakes as well.
Oh wow.
For the people that say, Lando Norris, no racecraft, I've never seen an overtake by Lando Norris.
Yeah.
What you watching, man?
Yeah, save today's race. Save the highlights.
You got 2 highlights there, right?
Which was the best one, do you think?
Oh,
The Russell one was ballsy.
The Russell one was nice because he set it up really nicely. It was like textbook switchback maneuver.
Yeah.
Especially his engineer was like, you know what George is like.
Yeah. Set it up
Gave
properly.
him a warning.
That was crazy, by the way. That's still.
We're only talking about those 2 overtakes, like there weren't a million other.
Yeah. I think what he must have done
more.
He must have done at least. Well, he must have done like 20 overtakes today
Albon, Ocon, Gasly.
because he gained 10 positions twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
start P17 and then, get up to P whatever it was and then back to 15 and then back again to 5.
Yeah. You must be doing 18, 19
At least
overtakes.
18, 19 overtakes.
The one on Ricciardo, though, is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, banging
round the
banging
outside against
gangster.
Daniel Ricciardo, last of the late breakers.
Yeah.
Mad.
Millimetre
word.
I think it's the Ricciardo.
Is it the Ricciardo one?
Yeah, I think it's the Ricciardo one. It's millimetre perfect.
Because
literally.
Ricciardo's the better driver than Russell? Is that what it is?
Oh, no. It's because.
The way of overtake.
I think it was the way of overtake, to be honest. It's also partially because it's Ricciardo.
For agenda purposes, the Russell one.
But he sent. But the thing.
You got to say, look.
Agenda over facts.
Russell, where did you start? Norris, where did you start? How did this happen?
Yeah. I mean, that is.
The way he sent Russell, though, Russell got sent to the shop. There was that one sort of dummy before. He was sent to.
It was literally textbook. It was
so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. But the other one, the Ricciardo one was ballsy, though.
How good's Lando been this year, boys? Because obviously you two, you three particularly, will follow Lando particularly. So obviously there's always, maybe you're just following, when you focus on certain drivers. So I focus on Alex a bit more than most people, so I'm going to probably give him a bit more benefit of the doubt. But where would you put Lando amongst just on form at the moment? Because we haven't seen him, he made a little mistake in qualifying and, no one's perfect, right? And I think he's had his fair share of kind of small errors here and there. But, I mean...
He's a top three driver on the grid.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
And the thing is...
It's not a question.
The thing is, we hold him to such a high standard because of the whole... This guy, I think he got into Q3. How many races in a row? How many years in a row? Just getting into Q3, bang, bang.
Yeah,
bang.
wasn't there a finishing record as well in 2021? You did 20 races in a row.
I think he holds of the current active drivers. He's got the 3rd highest percentage of points finishes.
Yeah.
So the guy's extremely consistent.
And it's not like it's even in the greatest machinery either.
And when we do
over that whole time,
when we do see a scenario, let's say like in Saudi in quali when he hits the wall, or even yesterday where he doesn't finish the lap, or like he locks up his tires on his only push lap and doesn't get into Q2, or you kind of highlight those mistakes. But this guy is in unreal consistency. The second he was given a car, He's the second highest point scorer
Yeah.
in Formula One.
Yeah.
The guy's, how many podiums does he get in a row? He's just always there, no matter what.
The fact that I know we literally brought up this stat earlier, but the fact that he has 5 second places more than Sergio Perez, who's actually been in a race-winning car since the very start of the season. He's basically converted almost half of his races this season in competent machinery into a second place.
It's phenomenal.
And his tyre, I don't understand his tyre management. I don't understand how he was still getting pace out of those mediums at the
dropped
end.
off.
Yeah.
He's going faster.
Yeah, than everyone. Well, apart from Max, it's insane.
And you could see, obviously, Piastri is fantastic, but you could see the disparity in time management between the two.
Yeah. Which is only natural because Oscar's so new to Formula
rookie.
One.
But it kind of just accentuates, look, this guy's building skills here. This is a period of time where he's had one of the worst cars in his career in Formula One. And now he's having one of the
I really, really hope you give him a title fighting car.
same season.
I really hope, man, because like when we say about this you can say this about Charles as well. Like obviously, briefly had that car in 2019. So many great drivers come into this sport, and we never really get to see them in top tier machinery. But I think Lando's done everything. What more could you ask from him? Really?
Is there even been one season where you could go, he's just been slightly disappointing.
He out-qualified Science head-to-head first year. Year straight at the bat, like, in terms of head-to-head anyway. Like,
I honestly, I know not everything's about technically it is actually about the points that you gain. It's about the standings quite literally, but it doesn't tell the whole story is what I mean. The fact that he is currently ahead of Charles Leclerc in the championship
This guy
blows my mind, mate, when McLaren just didn't turn up for the first 8 Grand Prix of the year.
Think about this is what paints his season the most. The most 2 frequent positions he's had this season is P17 and P2.
The most.
I love that stat.
yeah, he's had 4 P17s and 5 P2s.
That's the story.
Yeah. That's how it started versus how it's going.
And the fact that he even persevered, like even before the upgrades, he was qualifying on P3 in Spain.
Yeah.
In those peaks where that car was a little bit good, he maximized it, and he was getting points finishes regardless.
But listen, P17 and P11, same number of points.
That's true. That.
Facts. It is.
Nil points. So
I definitely think he's bar Max is one of the drivers of the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Question.
I think he's the. I think if you were to power ranking wise,
let's
be realistic here.
He has to be.
If he does leapfrog Sainz and Alonso and gets P4 in the championship, what the hell have we just witnessed?
No, genuinely.
Because the guy's only had a good car since Austria.
Yeah.
How on earth is he caught?
They've given everyone else a 9 race or 8 race. I can't remember.
He's only 14 points behind P4.
Yeah. That's mental.
And I'm telling you, I'm telling
and
you,
Alonso ain't scoring points between now and the end of the season either as well.
From now to the end of the season, he's getting a podium. So it's happening.
Yeah.
And Science in a Ferrari obviously has done P3, P4.
Yeah.
It's good points.
Science is the big competition.
Science would be hard. Science would be harder, but he will pass Alonso. You'd imagine.
Yeah. So I think it's
fifth.
Sainz and Leclerc because Leclerc's like 3 points behind.
Yeah, true.
So that's the battle. If he outscores both of them, that's just testament to his season.
Yeah.
And he's giving guys a head start. Imagine we had this car at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
He would be in that period.
You'd be second. He'd be second. He would have been consistently where because there hasn't been that consistent second placed driver that we were talking about earlier. He would have been that.
Definitely.
So
obviously, I still think there's a bridge. There's a gap to Red Bull next year, and I think it's a big ask to say McLaren will give him that car because listen, that Red Bull have been kind of handicapped. They've said, look, we haven't really developed the car. We're focusing on 2024. Let's see what new brings. They might take another step forward, and then that might make it even more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nature of McLaren's upgrade and how quickly you turn things around is and how quickly Aston Martin initially turned it around as well.
Well, they have turned round.
But they've kind of gone full circle, haven't they? Because they were level on points with Alfa Romeo last year.
Yeah.
And now they're fighting with Alfa Romeo for like P15. So it's like they've gone full circle.
They went 360.
But like, I think the only way Max doesn't win next year is if there is a consistent number 2 car, but specifically driver. It's like consistently number 2, and then whenever Max is off weekends, they can pick it up.
The one good sign for me, like looking as a McLaren fan, is every time they put an upgrade in the car, it works. That to me shows that you fundamentally understand your car.
Yeah.
And Andrea Stella's already said out there that look, we're kind of limited to the chassis at the moment. We can't even do 50% of the upgrades we really want to do until next year. So he's still saying, look, we've got stuff to do.
There's room to cook.
Your own win, Sonal.
So everything's there. The foundations are set. They understand the car.
Please.
It can move forward. But it's all about if Red Bull move even more forward.
Yeah,
Of
of
it's
course.
like kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like they can bridge a gap on everybody else. Because it doesn't feel, I feel like Ferrari, Mercedes, when they do upgrade, it doesn't really like they understand. They're not making the gains that other teams are making.
It's almost a prediction, isn't it? What they're going to, in terms of when they do an upgrade, they're looking at a prediction of what could happen. Whereas McLaren seem to know, we know what the problem is here, and this is how we're going to fix that problem.
So now the problem is drivability.
So now it's, exactly. And you look at what these two drivers have been doing for us at least second half of the season, or even just a bit more than that. And the thing is as well, though, you know, you mentioned in the stream, 16 race wins for Max Verstappen. That is, out of 19 races at the time of recording, it's crazy. And I don't know how we bridge that gap. That's the issue we got there.
I actually think, obviously, qualifying, started P3. It was within a tenth of the top three.
Yeah.
But I'd say race-wise, this was one of Max's most impressive drives. Like the way he cut through on the initial start and just perfectly placed his car between the Ferraris, put himself in that perfect position to lead out of turn one, which is so important in Mexico. And then the restart to just check out on the restart, which is the longest run to turn one.
Can I be a hater, though?
No, go for it, man.
No, only because
Go on.
the Ferraris were awful at the start, both times. Yeah, Max done his job, done exactly what he's supposed to do, but the Ferraris stank out the joint at the beginning. The first,
Both starts. Usually at least one of them, they get it right.
Leclerc's last three restarts.
we watched the onboard of Leclerc start, and you knew
He was straight in the mirror.
You just knew. You just knew this is awful. This car's rolling, not even off. And Max done his job, done what he had to do, and he's in a Red Bull. Hello, right? The pace is there. You look at Checo from P5, was clearing a Ferrari, both Ferraris, and then obviously, done what he done. But if you're Ferrari, have a hard look at yourselves. Just get a good start. All we want is a launch. That's it. Nothing, not like saying, you should have won this race. No, but turn one. He didn't even make to turn one. Max was already in the lead before turn one. So
And then 12 and a half. Well, he could pit before the red flag and not lose position.
I think I said as a joke on the stream, I was like, Max could probably, because originally it was kind of looking like it was going to be a 2-stop, and then kind of a lot of people were going to do a 1-stop without the red flag stops. Yeah. I remember saying, Max could probably do a 3-stop here, and he actually could have done. Like mathematically, he actually could have done that.
no,
That's the levels. Yeah.
491 points is over double.
Do you understand how
Over double Checo
that
now.
doesn't even seem logical.
I'm sorry?
Getting 491 points in one season does not.
constructors' point.
He's the constructors.
With
That's
three
constructors.
and a sprint, including a sprint to go, by the way.
Max Motorsport has
Max
won the
Motorsport.
constructors.
It's a Max Verstappen world, and we're all just living in it.
Living in it.